provide some insight into the specific mechanisms through which the gut microbiome impacts aging and longevity?
Yeah, sure. There's a few published studies that have shown that to be true. So germ-free mice, that's one side of the coin, that animals that don't have a microbiome, they live longer than mice that have a microbiome, but that's in the idealized condition of living in a bubble. So if you don't have a microbiome and you live in a bubble and don't have to worry about microbes, you live longer, but that's not practical. It just shows that the microbiome can impact lifespan. So the other side of the coin is what diet and overall approach can you have that optimizes your gut microbiome to impact health. And there's plenty of evidence showing that the gut impacts, brain, kidney, liver, muscle, you name the tissue, there's a gut something axis. So part of that story includes fiber. Fiber produces, the gut bacteria degrade fiber to make short chain fatty acids, which basically strengthen the gut barrier wall to keep stuff out of the blood that should stay in the intestinal lumen, potentially limiting systemic inflammation. Systemic inflammation is a big part of aging, i.e. inflammaging. So that's one way.
So do you measure your gut microbiome as well as mouth microbiome?
I not in my own personal stuff. Academically, I do. Yeah. But the reason for that is, so there's a couple of reasons for that. One is I'm actually interested in measuring intestinal inflammation, which is linked with things like Alzheimer's disease. But unfortunately, there aren't any commercially available tests that I can get shipped, like at-home kits, to measure calprotectin, which is the protein that I'd want to look at, for example. So if that was available, I'd be doing that regularly. To me, that's more important than, the composition of microbes that are in my gut relative to the metabolites that are actually in my blood or proteins that are actually in my blood, which is more a representation of what is happening rather than what can happen by looking at just the specific bacteria that are in the gut.